Okay, folks, I'm going to do this video. I'm sure I'm going to get all kinds of comments and packing your shaft and all this stuff. And I also, just a heads up before I start this video, the whole principle of the video is to give you an idea of what it's like when you pull that packing out of there, and you know that it's not that big a deal. You can change your packing while it's in the water and stuff like that. I do my own work. This is not the first time I've packed the shaft, and it's not the first time on this boat, and it's not the first time on another boat. So I've done them a few times. So, Chief, here we are in the Bahamas, and today, what do you think I'm going to do with this right here that I bought at Key Largo, West Marine?
Pack the other side.
This is called packing your shaft. Anyway,
I hate to admit this, but I pack my shaft a lot.
Gee. Anyway, I'm going to take this packing down there. And what I really want to do is, I did this before we left Marathon to the starboard engine. It was an absolute complete disaster. So what I did is I figured out what size, there was a lot of things that went wrong. The packing shaft, sorry. The packing was the wrong size. They gave the old owner left us 5/8 inch packing, and this boat requires 1/2 inch packing. And I'm going to take you down there and show you why I know that. And then I'm going to go ahead and pack the shaft with this 1/2 inch right here. And packing the shaft is no big deal. Everybody that has a boat that needs to pack their shafts should watch this video, just so you know the basics of what it's like and what you need to know about the shaft and the packing of that shaft. So anyway, we'll get started here. Okay, guys and gals, so what I wanted to show you here is this is the packing that he left me, and this was the mistake that was made on the boat. This was like a 4-foot piece of packing here, and this is 5/8, so the measurement from here to here is 5/8 of an inch, and the measurement from here to here is 1/2 inch. And what happened was, when I went to go put this in, it didn't fit. So what I had to do is hammer this down and then cut it. And you can only get one piece of it in the housing, but it worked. But it took me like 2 tries to get this to work properly. So then when we went to Key Largo, I was able to pick up a piece of 1/2 inch packing. And right now I'm going to go in here into the engine compartment. I'm going to remove that housing right there, which that housing, the previous owner put that on there. And it's just a piece of PVC pipe that he cut, and it goes around the shaft. And what's cool about it is it keeps all of the any salt water that would come in through the shaft, it won't leak and hit the walls or hit anything. It'll just hit the PVC and then leaks down into the hull. And a lot of people on these drip shafts, some of them will put containers underneath them. They'll catch the water, then put on an electric bilge pump. You can do that, and to keep the water out of the bilge. So it's possible to do that, because when you have a dripped system, it is supposed to drip. That's what keeps it cool. It keeps the packing cool, is the water that's coming through there, and you need it. It actually has to drip. It's supposed to, last time the rules I checked was about a drip every minute or so. It's supposed to literally, you're supposed to see a drop of water. I wanted you to see how the guy made this. We didn't make this, me and Pete didn't make it, but it is a good idea. And see, it just cuts, and then it goes over that shaft, and then it slides into place like you saw it. And it's a good idea, man. It's a really good idea, actually. Just protects the boat. You know, you don't want that salt water hitting your fuel tanks or anything like that.
Salt water touches anything, it destroys anything it touches.
Anything it touches. So it was a great idea, and we use it. I mean, okay, I'm glad we're doing this, because you can see right there, you can see this shaft is actually dripping water, and it should not be dripping water while we're sitting here in the marina. So that means something's not right with the packing. I don't know if it's the wrong size, but it should not be dripping like that. So you can see this one. This is the starboard engine, the one we did in Marathon, and you don't see any drips coming down that shaft right there. And then this one over here, this is the port engine, and you can see it's got a nice, you can see that drip right there. And it shouldn't be doing that when the engine is stopped. So that's why we're going to replace this packing shaft today. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is remove these two outside bolts right here, the two that are on the outside. That's the first thing we'll do here. So I want you to kind of see everything there is about this packing shaft right here. So this is my transmission cooler right here. And on that, there's a little line that comes off here. And this line carries water, salt water, through there and then over to this packing right here. And that's what keeps the packing wet. So I've removed the outside bolts and now I'm going to remove the inside bolts. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and cut my packing. So that it's ready to go when I get done with this. So we'll show you how we do that. So guys, right here you can see this is the packing. I've got it around the shaft and I'm just going to take a Sharpie and mark that edge right there and then we'll go ahead and cut it. Okay, so you can see I just cut that right there and that's where my Sharpie mark is, and so then that'll go around the shaft and it'll look like that when it's around the shaft. We may have to make an adjustment here, but that's what I'm going to go down right now and fit it, and I want 2 of these ready to go. This kit I got from West Marine says this will only pack 1 shaft, which it looks like it will only pack, because I need 2 of these to pack the shaft once, if that makes sense. And so it does look like it'll only do it, but it looks like it gives me 1 extra piece if I made a mistake.
How much is that?
It was like $30. And I'm seeing if it lines up, how good it lines up and stuff like that, which it feels really loose to me. So I'm down here and I'm fitting it and it seems really, really loose. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it up just a hair, just trim just a hair off of it. That's all I want to trim. Okay, like literally about less than 1/8 of an inch off of it. And that's it. And that should be adequate to, that's what it'll look like. This is what it'll look like when it goes on to the shaft right there. So I'm gonna lay this on here like this, just mark this out, and then cut this one. So we'll just go ahead and take the scissors. And you can see right here, I'm just gonna literally cut that like that. I'm gonna hold this one over, and I'm gonna cut it like that. And so now I have 2 of them ready to go onto the boat. And then, like I said, this piece right here is long enough to do 1, so I do have that in an emergency if I had to, but I only have 1, I would have 1 shot at it.
1 opportunity.
Yeah, well, technically you should put 2 of these, and the way we're gonna stick these on the shaft is that goes like this, and this goes like, and I did this on my sailboat, so I know this from years ago. That's the way it'll go onto the shaft, just like that, if you don't see it in the video. So we put these seams opposite of each other. So, can you see that pretty good on the camera too?
Yep.
Okay, good. So I should be able to get that by hand. All right, so I tapped it a little bit. Now I'm just gonna take the screwdriver and pull it. See it moving. Slowly work it off the shaft there. Which I should be able to just. Everybody thinks that the boat's just gonna leak water, and they're freaked out about this, because most people do this when they pull their boats out of the water. But it's not that big of a deal. And then you can see my packing right here, my old packing. I mean, it just feels dry, but it's definitely not doing its job. So we'll go ahead and remove it. Give me a pair of needle nose pliers, Chief. I'm just gonna take these needle nose and start pulling out the old shaft. I'm gonna have to get in here and dig a little bit. But how you measure what size shaft you need is this measurement from right here, from the top of this to your shaft right here. So I measured that, and it was 1/2 inch. And the old owner left me 5/8, and I can tell right now, this is the 5/8 packing shaft, and it's incorrect. So anybody Anybody curious what it's like with your packing shaft out of here, and you can see I'm just slowly peeling all of this old shaft, all the old seal out of here. All right, so this is with the shaft. With the shaft seal, you can see it sitting right there. Those are my 2 shaft seals. And you can see without any seal in there how much water is coming in the boat, which is pretty standard. That's not going to sink the boat quickly, if that makes sense. So as long as I'm down here monitoring it and with it, I mean, this is what a bilge pump's for. If the bilge pump can't keep up with that, you better rethink your game plan altogether. Okay, a nice piece of emery cloth would have been nice to have on this project. And I don't have it, so I can't clean my shaft perfectly. But what I'm gonna do here, let me show you. See, my seam is on that left side right there, and then my other one, I'll put the seam on the other side. So then you see my seam is on this side over here, and on the other one, it's on the other side. So now what I'll do is go ahead and put my my cover back on and tighten that up till the water stops, and then I'll back it off a little bit. Okay, so you can see here, I'm just gonna put these bolts back on. So I'm just tightening these up each side equally. So I hit this one, come over here and hit this one, and do it till I don't see any more water dripping out of it. Up now. And you remember when we started here, it was just dripping out of there. It was pouring out, actually. Okay, we're getting close right now. I probably have to tighten it just a little more. And I can still see that drop right there. That's what it should be doing when it's when the boat is running. That's what I want to see. But when the boat's stopped, I don't want to see any dripping coming out of the shaft. So just there we go. Same thing on this one. Okay, that feels good. So I let it sit there for a few minutes, and I saw another drip. So I'm going to go ahead and give it another little tighten. Okay, on that one. Okay. And like I said, that should be completely dry right there, which it is. And you see, like when we started, we had water dripping out underneath the shaft right here, and we don't have any water dripping out of the shaft right now, and it shouldn't be when it stopped. But also, I'm kind of packing this and condensing these packings together right now, and then packing them up against the shaft right here, and then packing them to the outside of this thing right here, getting everything to seat up. Then I'm gonna have to back these bolts off right here. Probably about a quarter of a turn is what I'll do. And then when I start the boat up, I do want to see a little bit of a drip, a drip, not a stream, a drip every once in a while. Another key note I can tell you right now I should have had a little piece of emery cloth to really clean the shaft really well. But I'll have it next time, and it's not that big of a deal. Okay, what I'm going to do now is have Pete start the engine, and then I'm just going to kind of seat the seal here. So he'll start it. All right, put it here. All right, give me a reverse. All right, take it and shut it down. Yeah. Okay, so no more leaking when it's stopped here. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and back it off, and then have Pete start it up again, and then we'll put our hand on that hub right there to make sure it's not getting hot. All right, so I went ahead and loosened those up about a quarter of a turn is what I did. Go ahead and start it back up, Pete. And go ahead and put it in forward gear. And what we're looking for now, I just don't want any heat on the shaft. The heat will destroy that packing. You see the old packing right there. It'll destroy it in seconds. Ready? So you can see that little bit of water dripping there every 10 seconds. Boom, boom. It's just dripping. That's what we want to see. That means my shaft's getting lubricated and it'll stay nice and cool. So as you can see, it's not leaking now. And it is dripping my drop when I want it to. And so I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the back bolts here, but we'll probably leave it fairly loose right now. And then when we go to take off Wednesday, I will double check this after a mile or two and then maybe make a final little adjustment on it. And then it should be good for, a season or so, a couple seasons. All right, folks, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, share it with your friends. And, it's just a video, just to see, that you can do this. It's not that hard. Packing the shaft on one of these old 40-year-old trawlers is not really that big of a job. It really isn't. That took me all of, I know the video is 18 minutes long, but the total time that it took to do the whole entire job is about 30 minutes. A professional guy that does them all day long, every single day, he could probably do it in about 15 minutes. So it's not that big of a job. Sometimes they're buried back there, and that's when it can become a job, when you can't actually see what you're doing and stuff like that, and you got to just do it all by hand. But on mine, I'm kind of lucky. That shaft is the easiest one to change out of the two of them. My other one's kind of buried under the exhaust hose, so it makes it a little bit more complicated. Anyway, peace out. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, share it with your friends. And I hope you guys are enjoying these videos in the Bahamas and the boat repairs that we're doing in the Bahamas as we're cruising along here.